TNT on the Show presents Comicast 262 with your host,
Pablo Gunner,
and JD. And we are here to talk about comics for the week of, what is it, the 30th?
November 30th.
So the 5th week of November, we're here to talk about the comics for it. And we have our own grading scale here with us, buy, skim, pass. Variations on buy and skim, strong buy, weak buy, strong skim, weak skim. And then we have our book of the week, our best book of the week, which is
The B-Bow.
our back and bag of the week.
That's right.
And that's where we take it in and put it in that nice pristine bag with the board and everything and go, hey, that's a keeper.
Yep, indeed.
And we also have a timer. 1 minute for one of us is reviewing a set of comics and 2 minutes for both of us. And this week's tone is... And message us if you know what that is. Be very, very specific.
Yeah.
I don't know what we have this week for them. Codes for the books that we're reading, or...
Yes. Oh, I will be giving away all the digital comic codes for a while. Just as a heads up, I will not be doing weekly Talking Nerdy Vlogcast videos until I get all of the...
previous content.
Yes, all of, what is it called? Santa Fe Comic-Con content out. When I get all of that out, then I'll start doing the videos again. So, until then, I'm going to be, giving away all these codes. So, yeah. Oh. And also, as a heads up, I because of the convention that I had to go, or I didn't have to go, well, kind of. It was an obligation because I was the host for a panel, a Villains Q&A panel at ConjaCon. So, I didn't have time to read my books this week. I was prepping for that, and I didn't get my books until Thursday.
That's kind of when I got mine as well.
Things didn't work out at work where I was able to read, so...
But we'll still review them.
Yes, I read as much as I could, and we'll get to it.
We're going to wing it.
Yes, like we usually do, Nightwing it.
Yeah, but there's no Nightwing this week, so...
Yeah, well...
We can't have our weekly dose of
I feel like there's Nightwing every week.
Oh, yeah.
In spirit.
Yeah. So anyway.
Dick is always with us.
Dick is always.
One way or another.
Alrighty. So we're going to get started on Totally Awesome Hulk numero 12. It is written by Greg Pak. Artist is Mahmoud
Asrar.
Yeah, what he just said.
One of my favorites.
Nolan Woodard did the color art. And it was a pretty decent issue. You start out with, in the Mojave Desert where Cho is talking with somebody real quick, and then he's got this chick, I guess it's his sister.
His sister, yeah. And
then they're like, oh, you hurt this person. T'Challa shows up. I mean, there's a whole bunch of drama, more or less. They end up kind of in a sewer type thing, and this bug type villain. Again, I haven't really been following this, but this bug type villain just kind of throws a kid out, and T'Challa saves him, and then just kind of Cho just hulks out on this bug type thing, and just kind of beats the crap out of him. But the big thing is that afterwards, his sister kind of blames him and says, I kind of wish you were never the Hulk. You're just doing more harm than good. But at the end of it, we see Cho get praised. Hey, this is good. And the people love him. And he goes and he sits down and hunts down Mr. Barton for a sit down and chat. And it resolves his Civil War plot where he was kind of pissed off that Clinton had just killed Bruce. And they kind of discussed it a little bit. He's like, man, I could squash you like a bug, but that's not going to bring my friend back.
Yeah.
I want my friend. And it's just a nice scene. I mean, this was just... The end of this book was well worth the buy. I mean, the main story I really didn't give two craps about, to tell you the truth, but that ending prologue of the Civil War that tied up Amadeus Cho's involvement with Civil War and resolved that issue, perfect. Well worth it to buy. Because of just that one section, I'm going to give it a strong buy.
Okay, cool. I just think it's weird because, Hulk used to be literally like another being, but in one body. Now it seems like it's not. No. Like it is Amadeus. And so it's one, because I thought for a minute, like, Well,
we
it
kept
would
seeing
be
that mirror thing, remember?
Yeah, it would be cool if you actually they kind of went back to that because really, Clint he's better friends with the Hulk than most people,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so it would be interesting to be like, I could squash you like a bug, but once he reverts to Hulk, Hulk would be like, oh hey, Hulk friend,
Yeah.
you know, and
You're
be
the guy
like,
that gave me crap.
so that Hulk is not gonna kill Clint because he's friends with him. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But it's different now. So, but we'll see if it rises to the surface over time. I think it will.
Yeah, because there's a plot point that they really haven't really expanded upon,
Mm,
and that's kind of why I've backed away from the book. Is because I really like that plot
that
point.
idea, yeah.
It's like, hey, you have Amadeus in control of the Hulk, but the Hulk is in the background going, hey, I'm here,
yeah.
boo, and then just
Right.
kind of is a looming threat.
Strong buy?
So strong buy for me.
All right, here's digital code. F for fan, C for camera, M for Mankey, J for Jones, 0, 9, D for Donatello, M for Mankey, 5, E for Echo, R for Richter, F for Frank.
Where is the dang credits page for this? Thunderbolt's number what, 7?
7.
It's the number 1 issue. You know,
It's a, you know,
the new beginning
now
of the Marvel Now what 2.0.
Did you read this?
I did not.
I didn't read it either.
I mean, we can kind of skim through it real quick. I mean, it looks pretty. I mean, we have the Winter Soldier and Jane's here. You got the team trying to, I guess they're trying to bust him out. Looks like they're arguing. Wow. You got Songbird in a nice little beach setting. You got Hydra Steve.
Yeah.
Talking with Bucky. Okay. This art looks great.
The art does look great. If I have time, I will definitely try to get
at least a written review.
A written review out, which I haven't done in a long time, but I'll try.
I mean, you have Mach 5 in this.
It does look amazing.
This is definitely something I would enjoy reading, and the next issue is going to be more centric around Captain America. So, yeah, I'm glad I picked this up.
This one is Civil War. It's not Civil War II tie?
No, it is not a Civil War II tie-in.
That's kind of weird.
I know, right?
But anyways, if you want it, here is a digital code for it. F for Familia, Z for Zorro, M for Marcos, X for Javier, 3, K for Kill, V for Villanueva, F for Franco, 3, C for Carlos, 6, M for Marcos.
All right. Now, since this is the 5th week of the month, we got a bunch of annuals. I mean, that's just kind of what happens on the 5th week of a month is they just throw out annuals.
And it's been a year, I'm assuming.
Well, I guess so. I mean, it's just
I think that's why they call it an annual,
Well,
right?
yeah, but still, it's normally on a 5th week, of a month.
Mm-hmm.
But Batman, the annual number 1, it was great. It was like 5 or 6 stories. I mean, it would take forever for us to review each of them, but I mean, it was really good pickup. This is something you really need to buy. We're going to blow through a couple of the stories kind of just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. The first one is about the Joker. He got this pack of dogs, and they're all ace. They're the royal flush of the card deck, and the only dog that survived was Ace, and he did so by killing the rest of the royal flush dogs. That's what I'm going to call him because, again, it's 10 to Ace. And Alfred takes it upon himself to train this dog. So, in all essence, we get it's a Christmas story where he's like, okay, what's my gift? And Alfred's like, isn't it obvious? I made this Joker dog here obedient, and he's Ace the Bat Hound.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a nice little Christmas story. I mean, it was well written. It was beautiful. I mean, the art is fantastic, and that was great there. And then we have what's this one? Oh, the one where there's like a blackout in Gotham, and there's these 2 big statues. And again, it's Christmas time, so nobody can point at their cell phone and video record stuff. There's a media blackout, more or less.
Oh, okay.
Like a whole Wi-Fi, whatever. Anyway. So these performers go up there, and they act like they're going to commit like suicide on some stuff or do some stupid crap on these statues, and well, it just becomes a beautiful performance. And the whole thing is they're trying to say, hey, release the media and watch the life in front of you. And again, it's tied into the Christmas theme, and it's just it's a differently drawn book, story, but it's still well written. I mean, we could go through the writing credits on this all day because again, there's like 6 stories here. But this is definitely something that anybody should buy. There's one with Harley and Batman kind of going around, and Harley's kind of giving out these little gifts of her costumes and inciting vigilante violence. And she just kind of wants to go home for Christmas, and Batman takes her home. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff here. Definitely a strong buy. Definitely a contender on this one.
Yeah, King, Schneider, Fox, Dini, Orlando, Wilson, Finch, Shelby, Adams, Rossmo, Evely, Belair, Placencia, Lopez, and El Taib.
Like you said. But strong buy, contender.
Okay. This is another one I didn't get to read.
Dude,
But
you gotta read
I
it.
had to put a 2-minute timer on it just because so much.
Yeah. The Superman wasn't as packed as that one was. It seemed like the Superman one, I think it was just one story for the Superman one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we have, the Old Man Logan. What number is this?
Number 14.
Give me a second, I'll pull it up.
Jeff Lemire as the writer. We have a different artist, though. It's Felipe Andrade.
And Jordi Belair is doing the colors. And we kind of, again, we're slacking this week.
This art is different.
Oh, yeah, it's way different art, but it's really stylized. It kind of fits the Old Man Logan motif, the timeline.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the Old Man Logan timeline, I could go with this. This is fine. But if you're talking about Old Man Logan now, no. I prefer something different, like what's in the all different Wolverine. But anyway, we have, the Sentinels, we have Wolverine. I mean, he's kind of going around. He ends up, trashing this thing that looks like an alien. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's Man-Thing?
Man-Thing, I think it is.
And then, maybe a Howling Commandos is what they're calling them?
Yeah.
I mean,
that would make sense considering the cover.
But it looks like that they're going to this castle, and if I'm familiar with my Marvel mythology, this seems to be the castle for the Dark Lord Dracula, which it is. We have Jubilee there. For some reason, why is Jubilee here? I mean,
well, because she has fireworks, light, show.
Oh, yeah.
That could be useful.
But Old Man Logan gets bit by the Count Dracula. And that's where we kind of leave everything off as, Count Dracula biting Wolverine, which happened in the 80s.
It happened recently, too. Like, within the last few years, they had that vampire thing when they were on the mutant island or whatever.
But the Utopia?
Utopia,
Okay.
yeah, they were on Utopia. I didn't
really catch too much of it then.
Yeah.
I was more in, I think that was around the time that Hush came out, to tell you the truth. So that's kind of what I was reading at the time. But it was a pretty decent book. I enjoyed the art.
It looks good. It's different.
It is a brand new story, so that's why the art change doesn't really smack you in the face. It's a brand new set of tales. If they keep with this and they go this dark route with Dracula and stuff, yeah, I can go for that. I can see the style of art with Dracula. It's a really, really horror themed. It takes you back to the Tales from the Crypt and Haunt of Fear comics.
Okay, cool.
So, buy it at least.
Buy. Okay, here's a digital code. Tell us if you think it's a buy. F for fan, C for camera, M for Mankey, X for Xavier, J for Jones, R for Richter, Y for Yank, 5, U for Ultron, Y for Yank, L for Logan.
And we have Inhumans versus X-Men number 0.
I picked this up just because I saw Rockefeller on here, and I was like, the art alone is worth it.
Yep. Charles Soule is the writer. Kenneth Rockefeller is the artist. Dan Brown is the color artist, and it is a preview or prequel to the event of what is it? X-Men, Inhumans versus X-Men.
Yeah,
Didn't
it's another. Unfortunately, it's another one I didn't get to read. But
dude, you missed out on this. This was actually a really good book.
Beast looks so great.
We kind of start, like 8 months into the, previous to what's going to happen, like with Inhumans versus X-Men #1, and we're just kind of getting where Beast is like, okay, well, we need to solve all these problems. We need to solve the problem of the Terrigen Mist. We need to still keep it around so we can, let the Inhumans do their thing, but we want to keep the mutants from dying as well. And we're just kind of going around, and Beast is doing his whole probability thing. Emma Frost keeps trying to jump off a cliff and kill herself, I guess, or test the limits of herself. Mm-hmm. And the Stepford Cuckoos, since there's 3 out of 4 now, they're like, hey, what are you doing? She's like, I'm just trying to push myself to the limit. I want to be able to turn into that diamond form before I hit the ground and go splat. And we keep flashing back between Emma and Beast. And yeah, it just kind of just really sets the stage of, Emma going around saying, hey, we need to fight for the mutants. Please come and help us. Come and help us for this reason. Then we have it where they go to, where Emma... Emma goes to the all-new X-Men, which is Beast and Iceman, in their little their Volkswagen van that's, like the TARDIS.
Yeah.
It was... She tries to recruit them as well. It's a pretty interesting book. It sets the stage. It's probably not required reading for the Inhumans versus X-Men story, but it is a good
read.
It's a good read.
It looks great. It looks absolutely phenomenal.
It sets the stage very well. For number 0, I'm glad I picked it up because, again, the art's beautiful. I can sit here and try and attempt to draw like this all day.
Yeah.
And then it's got a nice little checklist on what's coming up.
And here's the digital code right here.
Oh, it's blank.
It's blank. And in fact, I grabbed this one instead of the other one because the other one was blank as well. And thinking, not checking, going, oh, well, if that one was blank, there's no way this one's blank too.
It's astronomical.
Yep, it's also blank. So this is the second one that I've gotten that's blank.
Yeah.
Last time I remember I got double in one issue.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So it kind of made up for it, especially since it was a better book than that book. But, all right, cool.
But, pick this up. It's a strong buy. It is a contender.
Alrighty.
And then what? We have the Soups.
The Superman Annual, #1, that I also didn't read.
This is the Volume 4 Annual #1. And this is the Tangled Up in Green, is the name of the story. Peter Tomasi, and Gleason did the story. Jorge Jimenez did the art. And Alejandro Sanchez did the colors. And this is a really cut and dry story. You have Superman going around, and he's like, all this devastation is in, this area of Plant Hood, whatever. And Swamp Thing kind of just appears and goes, go away, you don't belong here. You're different. You're not supposed to be here. You're the cause of this destruction here. Mm-hmm. So him and Swamp Thing have a nice little talk here and there. Then they start beating the crap out of each other. Then Swamp Thing swallows Superman and, assimilates him. I think that's what they refer to it. Or he tries to assimilate him and then ingests him. So Superman and Swamp Thing become one person for a few. It's really strange. But in the end, he teaches, both of them come out with him saying, hey, this is the problem. I need to, respect more of the time. It's a good story. I'm not a big Swamp Thing fan, though. I felt that this is definitely an annual story, but this is not for me. It is beautiful. It is a well-written story, but this is definitely not for me. What do you think, looking through it?
It looks amazing, I think. It looks really interesting. I like Swamp Thing, so I'm a fan. But
I guess the only reason I don't like Swamp Thing is because he's kind of taken over the Constantine book.
Yeah.
And I don't really like Swamp Thing in that. Other than that, he was a pretty good, read back in the 80s.
And this is very different from Batman, whereas this is one story in
the entire book.
Issue of an annual, and then that was multiple stories, mostly Christmas themed, or all Christmas themed.
Well, mostly.
in one issue. So it's just it kind of depends on what you like to in your annuals. Do you like multiple stories, you know, or do you like one big story?
Yeah.
So
I personally, it looks beautiful. It's a well-written story. It's just not for me. It is a buy, on my opinion. I would still buy it just for the art.
yeah, it looks amazing. So I'll have to read that one.
Next, you have the Uncanny Inhumans, and I did not pick this one up, or I did not read it.
All right, Uncanny Inhumans number 16. Charles Soule as the writer, R.B. Silva as penciler, Adriano Di Benedetto as inker, and Java Tartaglia as colorist. This one pretty much picks up where it left off, which is they had these girls recreated their mother because Reader, they made a braille book so that they could read her memories or read people's memories of her. So, but because of that, she's not a whole person. And she says that, like, there's holes in me. Like, they're not physically, but just, like, spiritually, sort of, I guess, or, like, in her soul, kind of, or her entire being.
Sounds like a Full Metal Alchemist type thing.
And, so she's, not only that, like, nobody could describe her powers exactly because she's the only one that experienced them firsthand. So now her powers have, like, no limits. All they knew was that it had something to do with listening and sound. And so because of that, she remembers that Black Bolt killed her, so she goes after Black Bolt. Well, they're in her club. She's in his club, and so she goes after him, and she somehow is able to take away his... Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but it's all... I'm like, the paneling is amazing. It's pretty nuts and really unique and stuff. I love the art. This is really interesting to me. I like it.
I don't like the way that
feel
Black
like
Bolt's
it's
dressed.
Well, that's because he's a normal dude anymore. Yeah, I don't like the way he is anymore, but that's how he is because he just has this club or whatever, his business, which is, I think, kind of stupid. But yeah, it's interesting. Definitely, for sure. It's one of those things where it's like, you made her kind of limitless power, though, in a sense of, like, even though it's just sound, now it's limitless. So it's kind of like, I don't know if I
it's like an Omega level mutant.
Yeah, I don't know. So, but I was still enjoyable. It looks amazing. It's really interesting. I like where it's going. I'm going to keep reading it. So I feel like I have to give it a strong buy.
Cool. Strong buy.
Here's your digital code if you want to check it out for yourself. F for fan, C for camera, M for Mankey, 425660, E for Echo, 1.
Next up, we have Star Wars Annual number 2. Kelly Thompson is the writer, Emilio Lazio is the artist, and Rochelle Rosenberg is the colorist. And it's a nice Princess Leia story, actually. We kind of have this planet where it kind of looks like Jakku, but it's not. It's a desert planet, a couple of wreckages here, Star Destroyers and stuff. But we have this big woman who's like the Brute, more or less.
She looks like a brute, but she's actually an engineer.
Yeah.
But yeah, she can definitely handle
her
herself.
weight, yeah.
In fact, like, she was doing this job where they're carrying
these huge boxes.
Yeah, this payload or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, I've done my quota for the day.
Bye.
See ya." And people are like, "Yeah, you look fine. You look like you can handle yourself." But yeah, she's one of those people that is like, I hate the rebellion, but I also hate the Empire.
And she happens to be the one that finds Leia, like, injured.
And she's sick, so she gets her medicine, and so she ends up putting herself at risk in doing so. And then she's like, well, I need to get to this place, otherwise this stuff's going to happen. She's like, all right, fine, I'll help you.
Yeah.
I have this plan. And then it
kind of backfires and just kind of goes south.
Yeah, it was cool. The light whip was pretty cool, though.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was pretty sweet. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, it's hope, Yeah. Hope. Well, that's what it comes down to,
It's a new hope.
Put some hope in that cup, Yeah. Exactly.
And then she kind of sees, like, hey, these are your friends. I can see why Well, I want this.
Yeah, I can see why you're doing this.
Yeah.
It was a lot of that where they both said harsh truths to each other, Leia and this lady.
Yeah.
But it made them both realize things and made them better for it too. I liked it. It was really interesting.
Yes.
It looked good. It was cool too to get the view of not somebody that's a stormtrooper or an Empire, not somebody who's like pure evil, not somebody who's like
blue collar worker. That's kind of what it was.
Right. They're on the sidelines. They just want to be.
Just leave me down alone. Let me do my work, and stop bugging me. That's kind of what she's
You're
like.
You're both messing stuff up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked it. It looks good. It's really interesting, and it's one of those one story in an annual.
Yes.
Just giant size story, and
it's
well pretty
done.
Good. Yeah, I liked it.
It was a great side story. It didn't really.
It looks really great.
I enjoyed it. It's a strong buy contender for me.
Yeah, I concur. Shallow and pedantic. I mean, yeah, strong buy.
I find it very shallow and pedantic.
So, hey, digital code, folks. Here, check it out. F for Familia, C for Carlos, M for Marcos, S for Señor, F for Franco, E for Iliotero, P for Pablito, J for Juanita, T for Tomas, thank you. Z for Zorro, 2, and R for Rigoberto.
You just like that Rigoberto.
I have come to like it, yes.
Rigoberto.
Oh, you know what that means?
Oh, it means that Rigoberto here is going to say it's time for
commercial break. Yes, time to talk about one of our favorite comic book shops, Hombre, Age of Comics.
Yes.
Fantastic. Love it. Nice little neat shop over there off of Osuna and San Mateo in Albuquerque, New Mexico. If you're a local Nuevo Mexican.
Yeah.
So
it's a nice little corner store or whatnot. It's got some great figurines there.
Yeah, so many Funko Pops, dude. They said that they have so many cool Funko Pops.
I didn't even think about going there earlier today when I was looking for my Funko, man. So
I was gonna ask you, and I thought I didn't even ask. I thought
that's the only thing I really didn't check out. I didn't check out the comic store.
They have tons of they have definitely. You should definitely check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have a lot. They had I have a buddy. He's hardcore into wrestling. I guess he's just mentally stuck at the age of 14. But anyways,
I have friends that are hardcore into wrestling. Again,
I just like to bust guys' chops.
It's not for me, but it's definitely entertainment.
No, it is for sure. It's like guys' soaps, sort of.
Yeah, that's what we used to call it back in the 90s, redneck soap opera.
But I used to be a fan back in the day, and they have a Wolfpack Sting. And so it's a Funko. Yes.
Okay.
It's cool, dude. I sent it to him. But they have so many other ones, too. Like, they have the black suit Spider-Man. They have the legit Venom, original. Like, there's so many. They have so many. Kylo Ren. Like, it's not just comics related. Like, it's every kind of Funko Pop you can think of. They probably have it. And they have a lot of rare ones there, too.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely worth. And they're cheap. Like, Funkos are.
Like, what,
that's why people love them, because they're like, they're like $10.
Yeah.
You know?
$14, $15 most, unless they're like extremely rare.
Unless they're the big ones.
Yeah, the one with the Sand Trooper and the Dewback.
Yeah,
I got one of those, and that was like $20-something. I was like, okay, I don't care.
That's still
it.
$20. Yeah, that's not bad.
God,
that's a good deal for that size of figurine.
Well, I had to get it. We're the Dewback Get Rich Garrison out here, man. I had to get the Dewback. I had to represent New Mexican Garrison.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, they have the new series of Legends coming out now too.
Is it the Juggernaut or?
There's Juggernaut. They also have a Dormammu one, which is really weird.
How are they going to do the Dormammu one? I mean,
it's literally different.
Like every figure is Doctor Strange in a different costume?
Yes.
So you're going to have the Black Mage. You're going to have the one where he's got these legendary Sorcerer Supreme robes that are just like hardcore.
The movie version.
Yeah, the movie version. Are you going to have the $20.99 version?
I don't know if they have that one. They have where it's just his astral...
Oh, he's like a blue thing.
Projection, yeah. It's just his, Like they did in the movie. Yeah, I don't like that one. Like it would be cool to have Dormammu, but I'm not gonna get like 6 different
versions of Strange
to make one Dormammu. That just seems like a waste.
Yeah.
I'd rather just find someone who's made Dormammu
and sells the Dread Dormammu as a whole piece.
Yes, that would be cool.
And yes, it is the Dread Dormammu. It's like a title. It's like a doctor. It's the Dread.
Yes. And then they also have the Juggernaut one is the X-Men, and it's like the best X-Men.
Yeah.
So just think of in your head what the best X-Men are. Those are the ones, all the ones you want.
And then the Spider-Man one's what, Venom?
Spider-Man makes like I want to say
Venom?
Space Knight Venom.
Okay. Or something like that.
So yeah. And it's all kinds of different what do you call them? Spider-Verse people.
Yeah, Spider-Verse.
Yeah, but there's an old school stuff. They have just so many good things. I actually want to get the Legends. That's like MODOK, and then what was the other one? The old school Legends. It's MODOK, and then there's another one.
It's when it's Apocalypse.
I don't have that one.
But
there's MODOK, and then there's another one. I don't remember who it is, but
I think there's actually is there Onslaught too?
I think so.
I don't know. It's just the big people. I think the Mad Titan Thanos is one of them too.
But like they had a killer deals for Black Friday. I'm sure they're going to continue to have killer deals. They have all kinds of graphic novels. Of course, they have comics. They are hardcore about their comics. That's one thing. If you want to go to a place that just 100% focuses on just comics, they're not just comics, but like that's their main focus.
Not really gaming too much, but comics.
Yes, like they'll press, clean, get them graded and everything like that. Yeah. So they can do all that stuff for you. In fact, I'm like, oh, hey, you guys are missing Paper Girls number 8, and I don't think I read that one. And they're like, oh, it's all sold out, but we'll find it for you. Where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. And then they turned Super Saiyan 3 and just flew off. It was weird. No, seriously, like those guys will hunt at other comic book shops to find you the comics you want. No lie.
I've got one comic I've been hunting for quite some time. I might have to
hit them up.
I might have to test that out.
They'll do it.
When I say old comic, I'm talking like 1994, 93, something like that is how old this comic is. Because I have the rest of the issues except for part 1.
Yeah.
I have parts 2 through 7 or 8 of The Rise of the Midnight Suns in bags, mint condition, never opened.
Mint condition.
Yes, never even been opened to air, but one issue.
Human air.
Well, yeah, human air. I mean, they were vacuum sealed.
ER.
Yeah.
But anyways, they also put out a video every Tuesday of what they're getting that week.
It's like, here's a list
of
the
comics.
Not
just comics.
Yeah.
Even though that is the focus.
Yeah, it is the focus.
Also, any figurines, any statues, whatever, graphic novels. Because they also that's what they got, Paper Girls Volume 2 out recently. So you definitely got to check that out. That's, if you like Stranger Things, you're going to like Paper Girls. It's crazy. Time travel, girls that are the Paper Girls, It's good stuff.
So does that mean I get my morning edition on time every day?
Probably.
I mean, they're Paper Girls, they can time travel. I mean, a late paper is not in the cards there.
No, it's something else. It's a whole jumbly mess.
Well, dang, I won't get my morning newspaper on time.
Yeah. We'll just say Apple,
Okay.
That's it. So definitely check them out. Follow them on Facebook.
I do. I mean,
I don't know if they're on Twitter. Maybe.
I know they're on Facebook because I see the video all the time.
And then, they are always giving away free stuff too on their Facebook, like
from time to time they do like movie events and stuff.
They always have special edition stuff too, like because they go to cons outside. San Diego Comic-Con, they have exclusives there too. But anyways, so check them out, follow them on Facebook, and of course go to their location off of Osuna and San Mateo because it's wonderful. It's great, and they're just great dudes to BS with and talk to.
Yep. Back to comics.
You ready to get back?
Get some of your indie stuff.
Yes, I have Monstrous number 8. Marjorie Liu is the writer. Sana Takeda is the artist. It is Image Comics. So this one It's always interesting because there's like it seems like there's definitely like a time gap in between. So they're on the ship, and it's crazy because this girl, she's like kind of talking smack to the captain, and the shipmates, they do not like that. They're like, you should not be talking to our captain like that. And one of them is like this squid guy steps up to her, and she rips one of his tentacles off. It was hardcore, man. And like, so they're kind of feuding because like the pirates are like, we don't want to do this mission because it's essentially a suicide mission, and we know there's something up crazy with this girl because she has a monster inside her, and it's the one of those things though where like she doesn't want to kill any of the crew, so she throws herself off the ship, and then for whatever reason there's a siren going after them, which is just like an evil mermaid, and so that monster ends up consuming the siren, and yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy. I definitely think that this would be better in trade. Probably make a lot more sense too. But I like it a lot as is. Because they give you like cool little tidbits at the end. And this one is kind of like the Federation needs you, and has all this, propaganda about like the enemies and stuff like that. So it's cool. I like it a lot. It's really interesting. I've liked it from the beginning. It looks gorgeous and it's super interesting. But it's one of those things that like you definitely can't just jump in. I mean, you can because it gives you an intro page at the beginning that tells you what's been happening up to this point and about the characters. So maybe it would be. I give it a strong buy and contender.
Sweet. All right. Next we have Miss Marvel. What's this? The number is
number 13.
13.
Lucky number. G. Willow Wilson is the writer. Then we have a different artist, Mirko Andolfo. Actually, I think he was the artist for the last issue. Ian Herring is the color artist. But this artist works really well for this issue.
For this title, yeah.
Yeah, for this title.
It's focused on the election day. I did not read this. I've been kind of skimming through it while you were reviewing Monsters.
Oh, okay.
And it's literally about what's going on in our current society, about our current election in comic book form.
Yes,
like
in comic
literally.
book. Okay, but not about
presidential or anything like that.
Not right. It's not. It's more local. It's about local and how it affects you. And that's what I love about this book is that it tells you focus on the local because that's going to affect you more.
Yeah.
It talks about school zones,
your mayor,
voting zones, your mayor,
your committees,
your school council.
Yeah.
All or just different things like that. Like
they impact you more.
They really do, especially because those people end up voting in the big part. So if you don't pick somebody that actually represents you in the low level, they're not going to represent you in the high level. You know what I mean? So I like that, but it also felt to me like this definitely should have came before
the election.
Because they do say, oh yeah, well because it comes down to, oh, we don't want to pick the lesser of two evils. No, pick the right person for the job. And in this that happens. It's unfortunate.
And then people get butthurt, of course.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to me because it's not. This isn't what happened in real life.
No. And this would have been a great thing to happen in real life because
but. It's frustrating. I don't know. It's hard to get into.
It's like a public service announcement, more or less.
It really does feel like that.
But it's so well done.
It is well done. So it's like, how can you complain? I don't know. My complaint more is like, okay, this book was about she's boots to the ground, getting the word out on voting for the right people because it's this guy who is literally Hydra.
Yeah.
And so, but they're like, oh, he's going to win if people don't get out there and actually vote. That's the thing is, he'll lose if people go out there and actually vote.
And she does girl stretching and stuff and whoop a couple of people that are trying to hurt her. It's
right, and there's
it's amusing. It's Kamala Khan.
Gerrymandering. There's things that are legit, real things, and can possibly happen. So it's really interesting. It was well done. The art looks amazing. It works. It was just one of those things that I felt like it's late, but I don't know.
It felt like an
Despite
annual.
that, huh?
It felt like an annual.
It did. Makes sense too because it's number 13, so it probably has been about a year that this book has been doing this.
I mean, it was kind of a
right.
Yeah. I mean, this kind of took a place of an annual. I mean, it was a great story. The art was fantastic. I enjoyed it. I think it was a good, strong buy, a great contender. This is one of the best books this week. I'm not really into Comic-Con, but the story and the message behind this book really got to me. I was like, okay, well, where was this about a month ago?
Yes, absolutely. Here's the thing, though. Okay, I love the message. I love everything about it. I really do. But my issue is this. I don't know. This is my issue right here, which pretty much really has nothing to do with the book. So I'm going to say the book is a strong buy and contender, but this has kind of... It is related to the book, but it isn't. This book is about going out and voting. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? The person in the presidential election who won popular vote, and we're finding out like weeks later, won by a lot after time has gone through, that person's not president. So does this matter anyways? Now on the low level for this, yes it does, because it is by popular vote. But the president is not by a popular vote. No. It is by
electoral college and popular vote.
And the thing is electoral college is usually people that are that high level or in their office. And the thing is that puzzles me is, how is it that all the politicians and everyone below them were saying, we're not voting for this guy, we're not voting for this guy. But when the electoral votes came out, who easily won? Easily. That makes zero sense to me. And so, to me, I kind of go like, I like your message, but your message is kind of wrong if it's on a presidential level, at least, because the electoral vote is...
The voting process is different.
Yes. But this is for the low level.
Yeah.
This message is. So this is
something
more
you would
legit.
Find in Luke Cage, you know?
So I like it because, honestly, people should focus more on who's president. Because when it comes down to it, how does the president really affect you personally? Like, I can understand, because I've heard even locally that women or people like who seem like immigrants or other ethnicities people have been racist towards them. In Albuquerque, no less. I've seen that on Facebook for in Albuquerque, and that really pisses me off.
Yeah.
And so I can go, I know that's directly because of who is now going to be president.
I may be of a different background of you, but I'm sorry. If I take a knife to your hand, you're going to bleed red. I take the knife to my hand, I'm going to bleed red. And if I start bleeding green, there's something wrong there. But that kind of makes us the same species.
That's why I like Supergirl, because they're even bringing in aliens and saying, hey, you know, they're still beings.
Yeah, we're still sentient humanoids.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, we're going off on tangents.
We're going on our own personal
Here's the digital
politics.
code. F for Frank, C for Charles, M for Mark, 76, T for Tank, Z for Zamboni, I for Inca, C for Carl, Coral, 3, K for Kill, and then another C for Coral. All right.
And then you have this 7 to Eternity?
7 to Eternity, yes. It's number 3? Yes, number 3. All right, it is Rick Remender writing, drawn by Jerome Opeña, colored by Matt Hollingsworth. And this one, it has like a little journal of Adam Osidis talking about how his brother was sick, and he actually made him worse because he was like, oh, come on, let's go play. And he was so happy, and he was like, oh yeah, my brother's normal for once, you know? But then it made him die, essentially, you know? And his dad was trying to do what he could to help them. And then it gets back to this battle that's raging on where they're trying to kill this bad dude that is in control of everything. And it's crazy because it's these people that haven't wanted to help the Osidis family. And so the son of Adam Osidis is like, should I help these people or not? Because he's heard this this offer, and the offer is just ringing through his head. I can keep you alive. I can keep you alive. I can keep you alive. And he's like, oh. But they talk about how, and I don't get it, how his family's known for betrayal. Even though his family's the one, like his dad was the one that was like would refuse to give in. You know, he's like one of the few. But the way this happens, I thought it was like, oh, there's these monks or whatever. They have no chance. And the tide turns, and it's really interesting. So now they have this journey to this place, and so this guy's joining part of their crew. So this one hooked me. I'm glad we're only 3 issues in. I like to be hooked by second issue, but I was liking it, so I was willing to go for another one. And now I'm definitely down for like an arc. You know, I'm in for the long haul, pretty much.
Nice.
You know, because I'm assuming they're going to keep the same artist because this is how they do it, and writer, and they're both phenomenal team and creators. So strong buy-in contender.
Next we have Justice League of America. What, number
10?
Number 10. It is plot by Brian Hitch. Script is by Tony Bedard. And Tom Dernick did the pencils. And ink's done by Enriquez and Hannah.
Yeah. Oh, it's weird though. The front cover has Wonder Woman shooting like
this weird
SMGs or something like that.
But anyway, we have the conclusion of the Power and Glory saga, which has taken forever and a day to get through.
Which was Rao and him
taking
over Earth and trying to save
2 different Raos in Planet Krypton, all
young
right
Rao
next to
and
old Rao.
Yeah.
And then we have Planet Krypton right next to Earth. Hal is encased the Earth in a green shield because, well, he's Hal Jordan pre-rebirth, so he's pretty badass.
Pre-birth?
Yeah, pre-birth.
But
anyway, so yeah.
And then Cyborg and Batman have these awesome huge mech suits made by not Star Labs. Is it Star Labs?
No, it's by his father, Silas Stone.
But doesn't he work for Star Labs?
I think so too. I don't know if he works in Star Labs for this continuity or not.
But anyways, and it's cool, man. Like seeing Aquaman fight these, because they're fighting Kryptonians, and the Kryptonians who are new to the Yellow Sun.
They haven't quite got used to their powers, abilities,
right? And so,
but they're still warriors.
Yes, and so it's cool seeing the Flash fight them, and Aquaman, and Hal Jordan, and Wonder Woman, and they're fighting an army. Like they're like, okay, we can't take on. Like, they can barely take on Superman. How are we going to take on this army?
Yeah.
So, of course, Batman's like, we need to come up with a plan.
Yeah, we got to have a plan.
So they're like, oh, there's these stones, and you can talk to them and try to convince them. I got to say the coolest part, though, was Aquaman. And he's like, oh, guess what? Poseidon was the king of this. Oh, this is his trident, and I have his powers. Dead. Like, all these Kryptonians drowned to death.
Gone. He just kind of just waits on.
Yes.
So anyway, we have young Rao. After they go through and take away all the Kryptonians' abilities, including Superman, we have young Rao speaking with Kal-El. And again, this is New 52 Kal-El.
Yeah.
Because he's still alive in this issue, this continuity right now. And they have some sort of, like, argument, and he's kind of just acting like a total jackass. And then old Rao just pops off his head, man. Like, straight up kills his younger self.
Well, actually, the younger self killed the older self.
Or, I thought it was the other way around.
No.
Huh. Because he was like, I don't want to
he looks old.
Because he was like, I don't want to grow up to be this person. I don't want to be this, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that way. I don't want him that to go about. And that's kind of where it ends.
Right.
I mean, he pops off and there's no more Rao. So, where do we go from here? There's not even a next issue type thing.
It's time travel. It's all that, you know, timey-wimey stuff. Okay. As a whole, I really like it. I like the issue, too. My only issue with this issue is the issue that it is super late. It is like months late.
Rebirth started back in July.
And I'm like I said, still great. I think this would be great on its own, like as a trade.
Yeah, this would be a great 9-part trade.
And that's what weirds me out about it too, is that I go, okay, but if you were reading this in trade, would it bother you?
No, because in trade it would be like, oh, this came out before then. I'll just set the story before then. No big deal.
And then you would be like, now I want to read Rebirth stuff, which even Rebirth trades are out.
Yeah.
The volume 1s are out of them. So, in fact, they've been out before this came out. Mm-hmm. So, actually, the trade of this will not be out
until sometime next year.
For a few months.
So, probably about March of next year.
So, by then, volume 2 of Rebirth will be out. So, you could have technically be reading Rebirth volume 1 and 2 of all these books before this comes out in trade, which would, I think...
It sounds like a Marvel thing.
It sounds like it's a mess. Yeah, it does sound like a Marvel thing.
Sounds like Civil War.
So what do you? I still want to give it a strong buy just because I think it looks really great.
Oh yeah.
And I really like the story, and it's really
just not
interesting.
A contender for me.
It's just one of those things that I don't know. That's in a trade. I think it would just be phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, if you're reading it
issue
continuity wise,
you're like
that's a whole mess. So.
Yeah, it took me a minute to figure out what was going on. I had to kind of go back in a previous issue and find out what the hell happened. So, but anyway, you have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe.
Number 4.
Numero 4.
It's $4.99. The first story is Paul Lore, artist Damon Cusiero, color artist Rhonda Pattison. And that is the story where they're fighting this army of humans, essentially. So it's mutants versus humans. Well, Baxter Stockman's helping the mutants, and he has this crazy mech suit. But
so is he human Baxter Stockman, or is he not human?
Okay. It's human Baxter Stockman, yeah. But he has his robots come, and they're not the Mousers, but the other ones that have like the whip arms or whatever.
You're talking about the ones with the wheel, the unicycle. Shoot! I'll tell you in a minute.
They say what they are
Continue
in here
on.
too. Yeah. So yeah, they have those as backup, and they like go their separate ways and stuff like that. And it ends and stuff, and Raph is like trying to talk about why he's been so stressed out, and everyone just passed out on him while he's like getting all emotional. Then it goes to the other story where it's Leo and he's still fighting off this mental battle, but now he's facing it off against Harold and Metalhead. So yeah, and that story is done by Kevin Eastman, Bobby Curnow, and Tom Waltz, with Tom Waltz's script and Kevin Eastman as layouts and artist as Bill Sienkiewicz, with color artist Tommy Varga. Yeah, it seems like it's the conclusion to the first one, but not conclusion to the second one. And I'm like, how long is that? I just feel like it's dragging, Especially since it's not like not like a cohesive story, Like, the second part definitely feels like it needs to be a full story, otherwise it's just doesn't work that well, This one is fine broken up, the first story, but the second one, just does not work as well, I think. But, so, that being the case, I don't know, the first story's so good, the first story is definitely a strong buy. Second story, like I said, it feels like it's dragging on too long, so I can't give the book as a whole a contender. But it's still a strong buy.
I'm still trying to find out what those things are called off the top of my head, but I can't, and I can't even find an article on it at all. It's like, what are they?
All right, on to the next book by Boom Studios, number 9. It's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, written by Kyle Higgins, illustrated by Henry Grassettia, colors by Matt Herms. And this one is crazy because this evil dude has control of, Rita and this evil dude have control of the Zords. But, as what happened at the end of the last issue, the Green Power Ranger transferred his green power into all of the other Rangers. Well, except for the Blue Ranger because he's being held hostage right now. But all the other ones. So then somehow they're able to take over their Zords because they have access to the power grid again, right?
Yeah.
So they get back in the Zords, they take control of the Zords, and they fight this mechanical dude. And it's cool. I really like this because they don't do this in the show, and it bugs me that they don't do this in the show, which is they don't ever show the Zords fighting separately. They automatically go into Zord form, you know? They don't ever see like, oh, I wonder what the Saber-Tooth can do, or what the T-Rex can. You do see what the T-Rex can do from time to time, because he's the only one that like can stand up on his own.
Well, you really don't see the Zords fighting as individuals until they get to the Ninja Zords.
Yes.
Or the Shogun Zords.
Right.
Yes, I was a Power Ranger geek back in the day, so yeah, I know the original first like 3 seasons.
Right on. So I like this because it shows what they can do separately, and they do. And you know, Tommy's doing the Dragon Zord with the flute, you know, on the sidelines. And then Goldar, well, the Blue Power Ranger's like, hey, you don't like this dude, do you? And he's like, well, I'll help you if you help me. Just help me get out of here. And because he's actually imprisoned by Rita right now. Or the dude, I'm not sure. But so that's what they end up finding a way around it. It's really cool, and it's leading up to something awesome, which I'm really looking forward to, because you know how White Power Ranger, he got his powers? They don't really explain it.
No.
They're just like, oh, yeah.
Oh, we just kind of made it out of nowhere.
But they made it out of nowhere.
We have a White Ranger now. They just kind of made it.
Well, this is leading up to the backstory of the White Ranger.
How Zordon and Alpha created the White Power coin and gritted it?
No, it's more than that. There used to be another White Power Ranger.
Ooh.
But he wasn't a good guy.
That sounds kind of familiar, actually.
So I'm super jacked off about this.
See, that's an idea that I kind of remember them going over in the Dino Thunder stuff.
Well, because they did say he had to like prove himself in the show, and they were working on like his suit and stuff, but they didn't actually show like how did he earn it. Like you just assume that he earned it just by him being part of the team and stuff like that, you know. Like that. That's why I love how you can fill in the mythos. In the back and with this comic, I love it. So last book.
So what was your grade on that?
Oh yeah, my grade. I love it. It's super interesting. I'm totally jacked off for the next issue or next arc. It's a strong bind contender.
Nice, strong bind contender.
Looks amazing, and yeah, just all around greatness.
All right, for our final book of the week, we have Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes, numero uno. And it is written by Felipe Smith. Danilo Beirut is the artist. And the color art is the Val Staples and Jesus say it.
Abertoff?
Thank you.
All right, cool. That's it.
Yeah.
No.
We're done. But anyway, this is part 1 of a story. We kind of get a nice little introduction to Robbie. If you've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's pretty much the same damn thing. Except for, you know, the Uncle Eli is the possessive spirit.
Yeah, which is weird.
Instead of
in the
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. area, he's not the possessive spirit, he's the enemy.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's really strange. But we kind of just get the whole gist. You know, we see what happened to Robbie. We see his brother in the wheelchair, how much he loves the car. But we keep getting flashes of these other heroes. Like, we get Amadeus Cho as the totally awesome Hulk.
Yes.
We get Laura Kinney. And there's somebody else.
Wolverine, all new Wolverine.
Yeah, Laura. That's what I said. But there was a third person that was outside of it. So we have this Hulk lizard purple creature thingy.
Yeah.
And that kind of takes up part of the issue, which is not really focused towards Ghost Rider. And I was kind of
disappointed
in that. But it's kind of drawing together the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, the Amadeus Cho Hulk, and the Laura Kinney Wolverine together in one arc for this.
But doesn't mean that, I felt like he was kind of pushing it towards I don't know if they're going to have them join champions, but because that would make sense. I think that would be cool and that would be interesting, but I'm not sure.
Why would you have a rogue like Robbie who's, you know, focuses on vengeance. I mean, he's the Ghost Rider. He's the spirit of vengeance. Why would you have him on a team that's bright and happy like the Champions are?
Oh, well, the Avengers are called the Avengers to avenge.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know? I mean, so you need somebody that's there for vengeance.
You need somebody there that can,
avenge. Yeah. And just do the stuff that either you... Because he can't really be killed, and they show that. And I like how different they show this... this Ghost Rider, because they have a second story too where it's this lady and she's like fitness or whatever, but it's just a disguise, and then she has some powers like with her, it's a skateboard, but it's like
Rocket Racer from the old Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah,
remember that kid on the skateboard that stole the gyroscopic stuff? It's basically that character.
So it's yeah, I don't know, man, like I really liked the other Ghost Rider, like
I prefer Dan Ketch myself because that was the era I grew up in. He may prefer Johnny Blaze.
No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is like I like the show version better because this one is just felt too ridiculous to me. The whole thing just felt like way over the top for me. And not only that, I feel like they just certain things they just turned up way too high
and
for
jumped
everything.
The plot way too quick.
Like this first part, this first part was like, no, I want intro to the character. Why are you pushing him into other people's?
Yeah,
like
why the hell
you don't need to bring all new Wolverine into it. You don't need to bring in totally like that takes up way too much of this book.
It's like I want to see Robbie. That's why I bought this freaking book.
Yeah,
and you're not seeing Robbie, but maybe the last half of the book, of course, for the second story.
Also, I don't remember his brother being developmentally disabled.
I thought he was just crippled.
I thought he was just crippled too. That's what I remember.
No offense. That's just kind of the word I'm talking around.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying is I feel like this whole book is just we're just going to turn it all up to 11. That's the whole thing, everything. And fast track it because it's fast.
Yeah.
Because it's Ghost Rider.
And it's a 4-part issue. I mean, 4-part arc. And it's like, no. The art's beautiful. This is beautiful.
The art is amazing. Yeah, it's fantastic.
The story has potential. But this not shown here.
We want character development before you go into just action.
Show me Robbie when I buy a book about Robbie.
Yes, I want to like because we like the character in the show.
Oh yeah,
and that's what we want is the character from the show.
And that's kind of what got me introduced to the character because I was still stuck on Dan Ketch and Johnny Blaze as the spirit of vengeance.
Blazed it up with Johnny Hopkins and Sloan Kettering.
Yeah.
But anyways. Yeah, so what do you give this?
So for an issue 1, it's beautiful, but it's a weak buy.
Yeah, for a number one is all about
introduction to the character.
Introducing the character, you should fall in love with the main character,
or at least
suck you into his world, his story,
or have some
his
sort
life.
of empathy for that character, where you as the reader can connect to what you're reading.
Yes,
this did not do it.
Right, it just throws you in there way too fast. And like I said, it's too high too. It's, I don't want to be turned up to 11 when I jump in. I want to start slow, and then over time we can start hitting that, and then over time, boom, yeah, I'm fine getting to 11.
But then you can throw the character wherever you want.
Yes. So as a number 1, it falls really short, and I'm not even sure exactly if this is. I want to get into this. You know what I mean? Like
I'm actually going to give this another issue.
I'll give it another issue as well because that's what I do.
But so far, I am unimpressed.
Art, great.
Oh yeah, art's beautiful.
When they do have Robbie, he's great.
Oh,
that's the other thing. When he is there,
he's the star.
Right. So. I gotta say, and the car looks great, and Ghost Rider looks cool, and I like the different look of this Ghost Rider and the style, everything about it. So that stuff's top notch. So yeah, weak buy. Here's a digital code. Tell us what you think. F for fan, C for camera, M for Mark, 5, B for Bravo, F for Foxtrot, X for X-Ray, Q for Quasar, T for Tomahawk, 9, W for Wesker, S for Saiyan.
Alrighty, you didn't have too many books that you read.
I didn't, so my B-Bow may change, but I'm not sure if it's going to change. So I'm just going to go with what I have and hope that it doesn't change, kind of. I'll change it. If I end up doing written reviews, I'll say, hey,
this is the best book of the week.
Bebow. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to go first currently?
Currently,
I'm pretty sure your indies are going to knock it out this week, man. Because I mean, you have Power Rangers that look awesome. You had Turtles that sounded fantastic. Your Monstrous sounded pretty good, but the other one, what's the last one? The white cover.
7 to Eternity.
Yeah, that sounded like you enjoyed that a lot.
I'm actually going to go with JLA number 10 as my runner-up. I really like the conclusion to it. I like the story all the way through. I thought it was a really great conclusion. But my Bebow goes to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers because it is everything. I feel like it's at that point where it is everything that I've ever wanted out of Power Rangers, but now it's in comic book form. It's a little bit darker, and it's just, like I said, they're going into that mythos, and I love it. I love it. So it's cool seeing. It was interesting and cool seeing the Rangers in all green, or most of them in green, and then using their Zords separately to fight one enemy. That's always cool too. And then see the original White Power Ranger looks vicious, dude. He looks beast. Like, it's so cool. So it's so wicked. You gotta see it. Check that out. Like, that's just so neat. Check that out. Isn't that freaking cool? That is hardcore.
That is beast, man. And why does he have the Green Ranger emblem?
I don't know. Like, what if he was the original Green Ranger?
And then became the White Ranger.
Like, that's where she came up with the idea. Because they show that, I think they used to be partners, kind of.
Who knows?
Like Rita and this Ranger.
Yeah.
So
we'll see how that goes, because you're starting to get me interested in it.
It's cool, man. It's freaking awesome.
My runner-up would be Star Wars Annual number 2, that self-contained story about the blue-collar worker and how they're interacting with the rebellion and the Empire. It was perfect. It was a great point of view that Ben Kenobi never showed us. Yes. My Bebow, however, is Batman number 1 for the annual. That multiple stories, there is multiple ways that you can get your jollies off on that book. I mean, there's the Christmas stuff. There's the not Christmas stuff. And if you're like me, I personally don't care for Christmas. It's not my thing. It's my kid's thing. It's not for me.
Yeah.
But this made me want to get into the Christmas spirit. It showed you, hey, even the smallest things can be the gifts. The littlest things you can do for an enemy can make their day and make their Christmas bright. I mean, it was a well-done book and well worth the price. So that would be my Bebow for the week.
All right, cool. And I have a stack to read. Tell us what your Bebow is. Hopefully I can get some written reviews. How many books is that?
6?
Like 5. Yeah, so not too bad, not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
So cool. Right on. Thank you for watching or listening, viewing, whatever, as well as following us on all our
social media platforms.
Social medias, yeah. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. What else do we have? I don't know. We have the website
YouTube.
And all kinds of stuff. YouTube, yes, for sure. And once again, I'm going to mention that I'm not going to be doing any Talking Nerdy vlogcasts until I'm done getting all the content out. Part of the reason is because KanjiCon came up, I was not prepared. And so I don't like not feeling prepared, and it's because I'm trying to just do too much on my own,
Yeah. I can't edit, so I would be kind of worthless.
Yeah. We're going to call him worthless.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Hello, this is your co-host, Worthless.
So, no, I'm just kidding. But anyways, like, the part of this reason, though, is yes, I was not prepared for KanjiCon because I didn't have, because my thought process is, I'm not even done doing that stuff. How am I going to do more content for this?
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten that stuff out. I'm not caught up.
And
not to mention
ACC.
We have
next year.
ACC in January, so I definitely want to get all of the Santa Fe Comic Con stuff out and caught up with the Talking Nerdy vlogcast stuff.
Yes.
Which I'll probably take a break then after that, you know.
Then we can cover Albuquerque Comic Con in January.
Yes, because I already have ideas brewing up. I don't know about you, but we have like pretty much the cast of Karate Kid. Yeah. So we definitely have to do some Karate Kid stuff.
Of course, without Pat Morton, dang, I can't remember his freaking name. Mr. Miyagi.
Yes.
Yeah. Rest in peace, sir. Because those are great movies. My wife and I, we've been actually watching Karate Kid 1, 2. We haven't quite gotten to 3 yet, and we're going to skip 4 because, well, I just don't feel like watching Hilary Swank in a Karate Kid movie right now. And, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't care for the Jaden Smith one. It's, no. Yeah. Anyway, 1 and 2 were fantastic, even after, 30 years now?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So we'll have Ralph Macchio there, and is Elizabeth Shue coming?
I don't.
Because I think she was the girlfriend in that, wasn't she?
She was, I think, but I don't. I'd
totally fanboy out her because I'm sorry, Elizabeth Shue was great in The Saint, and she was awesome in The Hollow Man. I mean, she's done a lot of good stuff. Adventures in Babysitting. I can't even remember other stuff. She's a great actress.
I'm pretty jacked off about Ric Flair. Actually, I'm going to be honest. Yes, I want to do that. I want to get him. I want to get maybe a few of us doing the Ric Flair, walk and noise and everything.
We'll definitely have to make sure that our equipment is tested completely before.
For sure, because we don't want
no audio equipment issues like we did have previously.
Yeah, Santa Fe Comic Con. So, that, like I said, ideas already brewing in my head, and like I said, we'll see how many, if we can get any interviews.
Maybe we'll see if we can get some people to do some intros for us, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
TNT on the show presents.
Woo! Ric Flair, yeah, that would be great, man. Or just get a soundbite from Ric Flair.
Yeah.
I always love getting soundbites from voice actors and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's always great. We should totally got one from Kevin Graveau, man. Getting
his voice,
for the meat. You've seen Young Justice, right? He was the Black Beetle, and he kept calling people meat.
Oh, yeah.
To get a soundbite of that would have been great. I just didn't even totally think about it when we were talking to him.
Oh, man, we should have.
We were too focused on trying to get him to sing I'm a Little Teacup.
Yes. But, so we have all that to look forward to that. We'll probably be hitting them up pretty soon.
Yeah, and we will be doing this during the Christmas holidays and stuff. We'll do our best because it may come out late since Christmas and New Year's Eve.
A day late.
Yeah.
Not much.
But,
they've been a day late anyways just because my days off changed. Yeah. So
no worries.
Putting them out a day later.
But we will be bringing you content as often as possible. Please contribute to the community. Contribute to us. We'll be glad to help you out.
Talk nerdy with us.
Yeah. We finally got some people talking about some, Dragon Ball on the community now. Other than me and you.
And I'm finally getting caught up, dude. Oh. So we are gonna have to work on some DBS cosplay.
Yes.
And work on doing a Talking Nerdy vlogcast.
Yes.
And
if you are local and you're local to the area and you want to talk nerdy with us here and talk about Dragon Ball
cosplay,
have fun with it.
Join us.
Contact us.
For sure.
We're always open for company, new ideas, new points of view. We want the community to join us and submit content so we can talk nerdy to everybody.
We want to show you all off because you're worth showing off.
Yeah. So,
for sure.
So future stuff coming up. I'll continue posting episodes of Super as I get them, as I can see them.
They do disappear. I did find out they only keep the most recent 4, I think, or 3.
Something like that. So I post them Saturday night, Sunday mornings-ish. You can always get them on Crunchyroll, of course. So, check it out.
There's actually, if you put a search in, there's so many different sites that'll
even YouTube will have it.
So, that's what I've been doing. I just went, screw it, I'm just going to find different sites, and whichever one gets blocked, next one. So, all right, thank you. And keep your eyes hungry for
comics.